So in this episode now, we are going to be talking about how we can find the information about the API endpoints. And also we are going to talk about how you can use the tickers endpoint to be able to get the list of tickers for which we provide daily updated predictions. So to be able to use the API endpoints, you need to go to the sharedpredictions.com and create an account here to be able to get your API key. So to be able to create the API key, you can just click on the Access Predictions API button here and create your API key yourself. To be able to get information about how you can utilize the API endpoints, you can just come to the docs page here, which lists lots of information about how to use the API endpoints and also which endpoints we offer in the system as of today. We are going to be covering market parameter and ticker predictions in a later episode, but we are going to be starting with the tickers endpoint to begin with. The tickers endpoint is giving you the list of tickers as mentioned for which the system provides daily updated predictions. You're going to get access to more than 5,000 different tickers from American stock markets. On a daily basis, our system is going and collecting a lot of data about these tickers from the markets and generating new predictions before the markets are opened. These predictions are published a few hours before the markets are opened in the United States. So the tickers endpoint here is supposed to give you the list of tickers as mentioned, but there are different ways of using this endpoint. On the right-hand side here, you see a code example. There are two different examples here, one with Python and another with JavaScript, depending on your choice. You can also use the service actually with another programming language as well. If you are familiar with REST APIs, you can probably program it very quickly. If not, and if you want to use another programming language, you can just copy the code example from here and give it to a ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever it is you are using and convert the code to another programming language. It's going to be a fairly easy process. So there's a lot of filtering options. So if you just pick the data from API/tickers, this is going to give you all the tickers that we have available in the system. If you, on the other hand, specify with question mark ticker equals a ticker name, then you're going to get the information about that particular ticker. You can use this endpoint to be able to check out, if our system supports that ticker or not as of today. If the ticker itself is not available in the tickers endpoint, then it means that we are not providing predictions for that ticker either. And it's also possible to get a list of tickers. You may think like, I want to get all the tickers from the system that starts with, for example, in this example, AA. And you can also use the same endpoint to be able to get the list of tickers which start with a certain combination. In the third example that I'm selecting here, you go for API/tickers/question mark ticker equal to AA. And this is going to return all the tickers that we have in our system and we are supporting and following on a daily basis that start with the characters AA. And there are actually a bunch of tickers with this combination. So after having this information in place, let's check out how we can actually use this endpoint in practice. In the examples that I'm going to be showing here, I'll be using Google Colab. You can easily use Google Colab as long as you have a Google account. You can just write Google Colab in the search bar of Google and you can just click on the first result that you're going to find in the Google search results. Let's give it a try. So as an example, I searched for Google Colab in my case, and this is what I find. Welcome to Colab Google. Depending on in which country you are, you maybe see a different result. This is what I see at the moment. Or you can directly go to colab.research.google.com. So this is an editor that you can use online and all the data is going to be saved in your Google profile. You can just go back and continue using the code that you've written before. If you have a different choice of editor, you can use that, but for the sake of these videos, I'll be using Colab just to illustrate how we can use the API endpoints. Let's click on the Colab here, and here there are different notebooks that I've created. You can just click on the new notebook here and create a new one, but I'm not going to be doing it right now. So let's continue with the tickers endpoint. Here I have some code examples, but before going through it, let's talk about the API key. After creating your account at StockPredictions.com, you're going to get an API key from the system, and this key is supposed to be a secret key, so you're not supposed to share this key with other people so that other people do not start using your API key to get the service from StockPredictions. So it is possible to save the API key in Colab as an environment variable. So here is how to do that. On the left-hand side here, you see some menu items, and one of them looks like a key. And it says, if I hover my mouse pointer over that, I see the word just beneath it, as you can see, secrets. If I click on that one, I can see that I already created an API key. The name is API_key, and here is the value of my API key. And it is encrypted, obviously, or hidden. You're not seeing it. But if you click on the I button here, it's going to be visible as well. You also need to enable the notebook access so that you can use this API key from the notebooks that you're going to be creating. After saving the API key there, we come back to the notebook itself. And this is the code that we write from google.colab import user data, and API key equals user data.get API key. In this way, we are reading the environment variable, or our secret, from the API key itself and assigning it to a variable API_key. Since this is a constant, I have defined it with capital letters. And we just run our code just like this. And we're done. So we now have our API key saved in the API_key variable. We will also be using the pandas package from Python here, and my examples are going to be in Python. So I'm going to be importing that one as well. So for the sake of these videos, I'm going to be saving all this code in a GitHub repository, and I'm going to make that link available in the video descriptions as well. So you may choose to write the code as I go through it on your computer. A GitHub repository down below in the descriptions. So pandas is also imported. Pandas is going to help us to manipulate tables, basically. And in the next step, we are creating our endpoint information or data. So we are importing the requests package from Python, and we are setting the endpoint URL itself to a URL variable, and we are defining a header information. An API key is used right here, because in the header itself, we need to provide the API key to be able to authenticate ourselves to the system. Otherwise, the system will not be returning any predictions back to us. And in the next step, again, we are providing the parameters. In this first example here, I run it before actually. So I'm saying that I want to get information about the stock itself, where the ticker name is AAPL. And you just use the given code here. And if I just write DF, which is our data frame in this case, it's going to give us the result as we see here. So the endpoint is returning the name of the ticker and the name of the company, basically. But it is also possible for us to say that, we want to get all the tickers that starts with AAP. Then instead of writing the AAPL, maybe we can say AAP only. And basically we run the same code, and here is the result that we get in a pandas data frame. In this case, we have 4 different tickers: AAP, AAPJ, AAPL, and CAAP. As you can see here, 3 of these tickers start with AAP, but it doesn't have to be the case. The 4th ticker here is starting with C, but it still includes the search term that we have in our filter, which is AAP. As long as the ticker itself includes the combination AAP, it will be returned by the system. Now we have this data frame. We can actually go through the table or data frame itself with the given code here, just as an example, for index and row in df.iter rows, and we're just printing out the ticker and name of the company as you see here, and there's a column between them. So there's nothing complex about the tickers endpoint actually. It just gives you the list of the tickers that are supported by the system. But one thing that is maybe important to remember is that the system may not provide predictions on a daily basis for all the tickers that are listed or returned by the tickers endpoint. So even if our system returns a given ticker to your request, it may occasionally be the case that our system may not have up-to-date predictions for that particular ticker. If that is the case, that maybe the ticker is not active anymore, or our system, for whatever the technical reason, could not really collect the market data for that particular ticker. This doesn't really happen that often, but it is possible that it may have happened from time to time. So in the next one, we are going to be talking about the market barometer endpoint. See you there.